and he inspires.
Are you ready for a war?
An educated workforce is a devastating thing. You're leading the baddest motherfuckers on this planet. We have been subjugated to management's tyranny too long. Too long. Today, we're going to pick a fight. You're leading the baddest motherfuckers on this planet. The union's here now. We have to be united. That's what we have to do as a union. We are all the union. Educated workforce is a devastating thing. We are all the union. The most powerful individual on the working floor is the shop steward. If I tell you that I love you, that means if Satan came up and got you himself, I would go to hell to get you back. The union's here now. You can never put anything above the city letter carrier. Letter carrier is personal to me. That's my heart. The city letter carriers. Satan came up and got you himself, I would go to hell to get you back. Never put anything above the city letter carrier. We have to be united. And I will go to war with y'all every day. All right, welcome back to From 8 Arbitration. We've got Mr. Noble on today, Mr. David Noble. We had a great conversation. I think you'll enjoy it. He's got his Department of Labor, the lawsuit coming up here. And so he's going to talk about that, talk about some other things. Good conversation with my man, so y'all enjoy that. Got a few things I'm going to talk about, and then I'm going to get to that, okay? First off, I'm going to do some shout-outs, some rallies and things, and I'm going to talk about the Dogs of War. Mallory, make sure you get on from 8arbitration.com. I said I'm going to do this every week. I'm going to start out my episodes with this every week, and I'm going to do that. But go to from 8arbitration.com, show Mallory some love. I call her little tip jar. And give her a little change, okay? Give her a little tip there for everything that she does. I could not do what I do without her. And so if you don't mind, go to from8arbitration.com. You'll see it right there how to donate to her, and give her a little love, all right? CCA Corner. Make sure you're telling your CCAs to listen to CCA Corner. It's growing tremendously, and so get your CCAs. If they're not listening, listen to CCA Corner. All right, that's great stuff. They do a fantastic job. Also, get on Discord and Reddit. I haven't said that in a while. Get on to Discord and Reddit and enjoy those conversations. Get a little spicy sometimes, but that's good. We got everybody in this union, man, and not everybody agrees with each other. And so they get on there and they get some good conversations going. Get on Discord and Reddit. If you get on from 8arbitration.com, those links will be on there for you, all right? I'm going to do these few shout-outs, and then I'm going to get to it. Talk a little bit about Dogs of War. I'm not going to promote that anymore until probably next year. We've had so many people sign up, much more than I thought would. I didn't think that many would sign up, but damn, it went crazy. So, which is encouraging as hell. It really is. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but first I'm going to do some shout-outs. and some rallies, and then I'll get to that, and then we'll get to Mr. Noble, all right? This one says, hey, Corey, I was just wondering when you get there time to make a shout-out to two of the baddest dogs we have in our union. One is our president, Mike Davis, and the second is our vice president, Geronimo Hallam, out of Utica Branch 375. They fight around the clock for us, and I want to make sure their hard work doesn't go unnoticed. Appreciate it, and thank you for the podcast. Absolutely. So we got two dogs. We got the baddest dogs, and that's what I like. Two of the baddest dogs. President Mike Davis, and the second is Vice President Geronimo Hallam out of Utica Branch 375. So I appreciate you too, man. And there's somebody giving y'all some love, saying it doesn't go unnoticed. I say this all the time. The most thankless job you'll ever have is a shop steward. Carriers don't understand the time that you put into things, making phone calls, researching, studying, and meeting. And it does go unnoticed a lot. So these shout-outs are good because people are saying, hey, it's not unnoticed here. We appreciate you. So there's your two of the baddest dogs we know. A shout-out. This one says, hey, Corey, I want to give a shout-out to the curbside crew from the Amsterdam Post Office in upstate New York. Several letter carriers and I have started taking about 8 minutes of our 10-minute AM office break in front of our post office to bring awareness to the threat of privatization. I want to give a sincere thank you to the following people for having the guts to take a stand for the city letter carriers and the Postal Service at large. Mark, Tom, James, Angela, Ann Fernie, Steve, Lee, Giovanni, and Hannah are light blue through and through. Thanks for taking a minute to shine the spotlight on a little group of dedicated public servants that deserve a lot more than what they've been getting. Our time will come soon enough. Absolutely, my brother, and I'll give you those names again. This is the Amsterdam Post Office in upstate New York. Mark, Tom, James, Angela, and Fernie, Steve, Lee, Giovanni, and Hannah. So I appreciate y'all taking 8 minutes out of their 10-minute break to bring awareness to us. And we need to be doing that a lot more. Whether you think anything's going to happen or not, there's nothing wrong with bringing some awareness to us, right? So fantastic job. Good evening, Corey. If possible, I'd like to give a shout out to Paul Hansel and I'm going to screw this name up. Ronkonkoma, New York, PO. Ronkonkoma, New York, PO. I hope I said that right. Y'all know how I am about this. Man was a great steward, coworker, friend, and customer. He was a big help in getting the ball rolling on my mutual exchange, and I'm sending all the love from Florida. And so there you have it, Paul Hansel in Ronkonkoma, New York. Somebody sending you some love. I appreciate you, my man. Shout out to our president, Jeff Jordan of Branch 72, Concord, New Hampshire. Thank you for stepping up when your name was called and climbing what seems to be a relentless uphill battle with a win in your face. I know you are listening, so thank you for your work and for putting up with my shenanigans. That's a great one. I'm going to read that again. I like that one. Shout out to our president, Jeff Jordan of Branch 72, Concord, New Hampshire. Thank you for stepping up when your name was called and climbing what seemed to be a relentless uphill battle with the wind in your face. I know you're listening, so thank you for your work and for putting up with my shenanigans. That's a great one, man. So to my brother, President Jeff Jordan, Branch 72, Concord, New Hampshire. Somebody giving you some love right there. Huge shout out to James Henry and the other facilitators of the Advanced Formal A class. It was amazing. I learned so much. James Henry took the time to make sure we understood everything and showed us he truly does care about us, the members. So there's a shout out to Mr. James Henry and the facilitators of the Advanced Formal A class. Here's a shout out to Mr. Tyler Vassar. They're having a Zoom meeting, Build a Fighting NALC. They're having a Zoom meeting, and this is what it is. Build a Fighting NALC is hosting a Zoom meeting on Sunday, March 16th at noon Central Time to prepare people for the March 23rd rallies. We're going to have speakers from Federal Unions Network to talk about how of fight against privatization at USPS needs to be linked to the fight of all federal workers right now. So I'll read that again. Bill to Fighting NALC is hosting a Zoom meeting on Sunday, March 16th at noon Central Time to prepare people for the March 23rd rallies. We're going to have speakers from Federal Unionist Network to talk about how a fight against privatization at USPS needs to be linked to the fight of all federal workers right now. You send me the link, I'll make sure I put that link up for you. I'll put it up on all my stuff, okay? And so that's going to be Sunday, March 16th at noon. So get on that link, go ahead and register. Make sure you're on there Sunday, March 16th at noon. That's Bill to Fighting NALC. You know how I feel about Mr. Vassar and that group. I'm a big fan. So here's another rally. It's Paws Off the Post Office rally. Paws Off the Post Office rally. Win Sunday, March 23rd, 2025, time 1 p.m. Where the gazebo at Franklin and Maine, 100 Franklin Avenue, Kent, Ohio, 44240. Anti-privatization event open to all postal crafts, friends, and family. The postal lions were a bit sleepy, but they have been provoked, and we must show how strong our bite is. It is imperative that we show the public how vital the service we provide is, that we are a burden to none, but a gift to all Americans. We use zero tax dollars while keep shipping costs competitively low for everyone to enjoy the benefits. We are as essential and relevant as ever. No one can do what we do. Please come roar with us. I love that. Especially when you talk about lions, right? That's my shit. So Paws Off the Post Office rally, win Sunday, March 23rd, 2025. Time, 1 p.m. Where? Gazebo at Franklin and Maine, 100 Franklin Avenue, Kent, Ohio, 44240. All right? Here's another one. Branch 461 will be holding an informational picket at 5 Points intersection on March 23rd, 2025. Time will be from 2 p.m. till 4 p.m. We are calling on all carriers, all clerks, every employee of the USPS to join us to say not just no, but hell no to any effort to dismantle or privatize the United States Postal Service. T-shirts and banners will be provided while supplies last. 5 Points intersection is at the corner of Country Club and Stratford Roads. All right. Shout out to Classes of Mail, Alan Gigax, and talks about the importance of his podcast. And that guy is fantastic. If you hadn't listened to it, Classes of Mail, Alan Gigax. So somebody wanted to give you a shout out, my brother. And so y'all go listen to Classes of Mail if you haven't. Alan Gigax is a fantastic educator. Says, hey, Corey, next podcast, can you spread the word about our rally? Shout out to all members of Branch 56 from Sarah. Thanks ahead of time. And that's another one of the Hell No rallies to dismantling the Postal Service. Stand with the letter carriers, rally to save USPS. NALC Branch 56, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Sunday, March 23rd at 11 a.m. Calder Plaza, Ottawa Avenue Northwest, Grand Rapids, Michigan, 49503. I'll say that one more time. Stand with letter carriers, rally to save USPS. NALC Branch 56, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Sunday, March 23rd at 11 a.m. Calder Plaza, Ottawa Avenue Northwest, Grand Rapids, Michigan, 49503. Here's another. It says, the National Association of Letter Carriers, Branch 385, a nonprofit organization, is asking for a donation from your business, which would help to grow our scholarship fund. Our dinner will be held at the Embassy in Youngstown, Ohio on Saturday, April 12th, 2024. It's a big event in Youngstown with nearly 400 people in attendance. Each year we are able to give out scholarships to deserving letter carriers' sons and daughters. Our scholarships help aid their first year of college. 100% of our proceeds go directly into the scholarship fund for next year's applicants. I'm currently seeking donations for our event towards our Chinese auction. Your business will be recognized with a display as well as mentioned over the microphone. Any donation would be greatly appreciated and can be mailed directly to our NALC Union office, at 2959 Canfield Road, number 11, Youngstown, Ohio, 44511. Or if local, I can pick it up when it's ready. Just let me know. If you can please get back to me if you would like to donate, I'd appreciate it. If you have any questions, please call Misty Mraz directly at 330-951-2956 or our union office at 330-270-0385. I'll read that again. National Association of Letter Carriers Branch 385, a nonprofit organization, is asking for a donation from your business which would help to grow our scholarship fund. Our dinner will be held at the Embassy in Youngstown, Ohio on Saturday, April 12, 2024. It's a big event in Youngstown with nearly 400 people in attendance. Each year we are able to give out scholarships to deserving letter carriers, sons and daughters. Our scholarships help aid their first year of college. 100% of our proceeds go directly into the scholarship fund for next year's applicants. I'm currently seeking donations for our event towards our Chinese auction. Your business would be recognized with a display as well as mentioned over the microphone. Any donation will be greatly appreciated and can be mailed directly to our NALC Union office at 2959 Canfield Road, number 11, Youngstown, Ohio, 44511. Or, if local, I can pick it up when it's ready. Just let me know. If you can please get back to me if you would like to donate, I'd appreciate it. If you have any questions, please call Misty Mraz directly at 330-951-2956 or our union office at 330-270-0385. And it says the beginning of that, and I missed that, was the 2025 Roger J. DeFrangia Scholarship Dinner is on Saturday, April 12th this year at the Embassy Hall in Youngstown at 6:15 p.m. It'll be a Hawaiian luau theme and sure to be a good time. We still have books remaining for only $100. The book includes a ticket for yourself and one guest to attend the buffet-style dinner and open bar, all you can eat and drink. And I was supposed to have read that at the beginning, and I screwed that up, so I apologize, Misty. So I'm going to read that again. The 2025 Roger J. DeFrangia Scholarship Dinner is on Saturday, April 12th this year at the Embassy Hall in Youngstown at 6:15 p.m. It'll be a Hawaiian luau theme and sure to be a good time. We still have books remaining for only $100. The book includes a ticket for yourself and one guest to attend the buffet-style dinner and open bar, all you can eat and drink. And so that'll get a lot of people's interest, I'm sure. It says, hey man, can you put out that in Region 13 we're holding a local rally on 3/23/25 in Staunton, Virginia at Congressman Ben Klein's office at 114 South Lewis Street from 12:30 to 14:30. We'll be speaking out against privatizing or dismantling of the PO, as well as pressing Ben Klein to hold down halls to hear our voices and answer our questions. Right now, he is not doing this. I'll send you a copy of the flyer to put up for anyone that wishes to come and join us. Not NALC or PO exclusive. Anyone that wishes to participate will be welcomed with open arms. Neighboring stations, including Charlottesville, Waynesboro, and Harrisonburg, are expected to be joining. Details are in the works. So it's Say Hell No to Dismantling the Post Office. Join us March 23rd, 12:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. outside Representative Klein's office, 117 South Lewis Street, Staunton, Virginia. Parking is free. Try Johnson Street Garage or Wharf. So there's you another one. Can you please do me a favor? This is Branch 24. Your next podcast, if you can please make an announcement that on March 23rd, which is a Sunday, we'll be having another Fight Like Hell rally out in Los Angeles. It'll be at 10 a.m. at Federal Building, 300 North Los Angeles Street, Los Angeles, California, 90012, United States. All are welcome. We were told that our president, Brian Renfroe, will be there. And y'all still go anyway. Y'all still go anyway. Even though that line of son of a bitch is coming. Fight Like Hell t-shirts are being ordered. So if you're interested in attending this upcoming event, please call Branch 24 at 1-626-444-7811. So if you do go ahead down to the rally, we can have a t-shirt for you. Thank you so much. So there you have it. Please do me a favor, your next podcast, if you can please make an announcement that on March 23rd, which is a Sunday, we'll be having another Fight Like Hell rally out in Los Angeles. It'll be at 10 a.m. at Federal Building, 300 North Los Angeles Street, Los Angeles, California, 90012. United States, all are welcome. We were told that our president, Brian Renfroe, will be there. Here's another. We have the Region 12 rap session on March 9th here in Atlantic City. We're doing a Hell No rally a couple of miles down the street. At the Pleasantville Post Office, Region 12, people can stop and join us on their way to register for the rap session. It's from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., hoping to encourage plenty of Region 12 to join. And so I did that one last week, but the 9th is tomorrow, so I'm going to do it again this week. We have the Region 12 rap session on March 9th here in Atlantic City. We're doing a Hell No rally. I hope a couple of miles down the street at the Pleasantville Post Office. Region 12 people can stop and join us on their way to register for the rap session. It's from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. And so there you have it. There's your rallies and there's your shout outs. All right, 20 minutes of them. I'm going to end on this DOW, Dogs of War. A fantastic response. And so I told you that this is going to be something that's never happened before. There were some people that reached out saying, hey, our region's doing stuff like that. And that's appreciated. Trust me, we need more to do it. This is going to be national. And the education is going to be unparalleled. These individuals will have the best education there are. Here's the issue that we're having. We're losing to management in joint statement cases. They're beating us. And that is inexcusable. And that's the reason I have gotten involved. Because I do not lose. I hate losing. And I'm going to do everything humanly possible to make sure that we succeed. I hate losing. Therefore, I went out and got the baddest son of a bitch I know to head this up. Because I hate to lose. And we are losing to management. I'm going to give you some stats right here. Carriers, when management charges us with violation of the joint statement on violence behavior in the workplace, when management charges us with that, going to arbitration, there's been 710 cases. 710 cases gone to arbitration. 386 of those 710 have been denied. 386 of those 710 have been denied. 168 have been sustained. I'm going to read that again. When management takes us to arbitration, when they file a joint statement on us, or when they issue discipline on the joint statement against us, 710 of those have gone to arbitration. 386 have been denied. 168 have been sustained. They are whipping our ass in arbitration on those. 151 have been modified. So that's 325 total sustained and modified, and we have lost 386. Management is whipping our ass in arbitration when they come at us for violating the joint statement. Now, when we go at them, when we file a joint statement grievance against management, there's been 605 cases taken to arbitration. 605 cases when we file a joint statement grievance against management. 272 have been denied. We've lost 272 of those. 272. We have won 226. Denied now, we've lost 272. That's 272. We have won 226. That's 226. Management is whipping our ass in arbitration when we file a joint statement grievance against them. Modified has been 91. So they are cleaning our clocks in both sides. When they discipline us for joint statement, they're beating us. When we file a joint statement on them, they're beating us. These teams are going to correct that. There's modified as 91, so that's 317 to 272. So that's roughly about 54%. These teams, this dogs of war, the education, that's to make our stats upwards of about 75% to 80% we win. And that's going to happen. That's going to happen. It's a shame that it's taken this long for somebody to do something. We should not be getting our asses handed to us in arbitration like that. That is getting your ass handed to you. So I appreciate all these regions got these teams and everything that are doing that. We are losing. We're losing. And I'm not going to lose any longer. That's just not going to fucking happen. Not as director of city delivery. I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to stand for it. And so I'm going to do something about it. And so I've got the baddest son, which I know that's going to be the facilitator of that. He's going to educate you on that. And so these teams, when they go out, are going to be prepared. And when we go to arbitration, by the end of the year, our rate will be about 75 to 80% win rate. I'm going to guarantee that. I'm going to guarantee. We cannot go to arbitration and win 50% of joint statement cases. We're not doing something right. Something's being lost in translation. Okay? That's not going to happen any longer. Not when I become director of city delivery. I'm going to handle that myself. I refuse to lose. I refuse it. And I'm not going to stand for it. I will not stand for losing to these son of a bitches. And we are getting our asses handed to us. So it's a shame that it's taken this long to do this, but better late than never. We're coming. We're coming. I've had so many people sign up. It's unbelievable. And so we're going to get you educated, unlike any education that's ever happened. I promise you that. When y'all leave, y'all going to be thinking, what in the fuck just happened? But that's what's going to happen. We're going to get you educated, and we're going to be with you from the very beginning to the very end. And we're going to make sure that those numbers are up in about the 75 or 80% range. That's a promise from me to you. And so getting our asses handed to us is not something that sits well with me. And I'm not going to tolerate it. I will not tolerate being a loser. Damn it. That's not my makeup. We will not lose to these son of a bitches, okay? So there you have it, some shout outs, a little bit about the DOW. I will not promote it anymore. We've had so many people sign up. I'm not going to promote it anymore. Okay? And so next year, the training's being put together now. That's already started. And so I told you day one, we're jumping. And that's exactly what I mean. Day one, we're moving. And so, that training's already being done, already being put together, how those courses are going to go. And so, when I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to settle for losing. I just won't do it. I've not lost. I've not been a loser at anything I've done in the union. And so I'm not going to start now with the biggest position I've ever been in. And so I'm going to make sure that we're successful. Not just successful, but highly successful. To the point to where they're going to call James Henry and say, hey, what can we do? What can we do? Because when you see us, it's too late. When you get these emails from this individual, it's too late. We're coming. There's nothing you can do. Now, you can help other supervisors and managers by telling them, what's happened to you. But it's too damn late. When you see this team walking in your station, it's too late. It's your ass. And so that's just how it's going to be. When you get an email from this individual saying, hey, we're coming in, it's too late. Like I said, you can save others from your fate, but it's too late. These motherfuckers ain't going to be playing around when they come in there. We're going to train straight up fucking savages that come in there, and they're going to start packing your shit in boxes and helping you walk out. So anyway, there you have it. Mr. Noble's coming up next. I think you'll enjoy that conversation, a good conversation with him. And I'll be back next Sunday. We'll talk about some more 6-day counts because that stuff's going crazy, all right? I love each and every one of you. I love y'all very much. Y'all are my people. Y'all are my people, man, and I'm going to do everything in my power to protect you. All right? I'm fixing to become director of city delivery, and I'm going to rain down some fucking hell on these people for what they've done to us prior to me getting in there. And that's coming. I'm going to rain down fucking hell on these people for what they've done to us. And I can't wait. I cannot wait. I love y'all very much. Have a fantastic rest of the week, and I'll talk to y'all next Sunday, all right? Bye. All right, I got the man, Mr. David Noble, on with me, and he's going to talk about a few things. We chit chat often, and so since I'm not going to be on tomorrow with an episode, I got to go to do some training in regional training. I wanted to have something up, so I thought it'd be a perfect time to have a man on. So, Mr. Noble, you with me?
I am.
All right, brother. I'm gonna let you have it, and then at the end of it, man, if we got some questions, we'll do that. But it's all yours, okay, brother?
Yes, sir.
All right.
First, let me tell you what my email address is. It's dwnoble@gmail.com. If anybody has any questions about anything I say or wants evidence to support any statements I make, please send me an email and I will get back to you promptly. Again, it's dwnoble@gmail.com. First, I'd like to talk about the concern that's out there right now about the post office being dismantled. A couple of weeks ago or so, the Washington Post published a story saying that President Trump was going to fire the Postal Board of Governors and the members of the Postal Regulatory Commission and to reassign the Postal Service to the Commerce Department. And I posted that article from the Washington Post to a couple of my Facebook groups, not because I thought there was any danger of anything happening imminently, but because I thought that it was obviously unlawful. It would be obviously unlawful for Trump to fire the Board of Governors and the Postal Regulatory Commission and to move the Postal Service to the Commerce Department. And the reason that would be unlawful is that the Postal Service was created in 1970 by the Postal Reorganization Act. It was passed by both houses of Congress and signed by the then president. And a federal statute establishing an agency simply can't be undone simply by a president issuing an executive order. In order to do all of the things that President Trump was said to be considering would require legislation rather than simply an executive order. That view was confirmed a couple of days later when Postmaster General DeJoy made a video making it clear that legislation would be required to accomplish moving USPS to the Commerce Department. And I understood DeJoy to be speaking for the other side, for President Trump, and and for people who wanted to make large changes to the post office. A couple of days ago, Elon Musk said that USPS and Amtrak should be privatized. And again, if something like that were going to happen, it would require legislation, which would take time. It's not something that could happen overnight or even in a few months. Privatization of the Postal Service is something that has been talked about for the last 50 years. I remember Jerry Ford in 1975 talking about privatizing the Postal Service. There is a large portion of the right wing who considers the Postal Service to be just a step above welfare. And that's really wrong. Delivering mail for the Postal Service is hard and heavy work. And it requires a great deal of skill in addition to a great deal of endurance. And it's wrong for people to think that letter carriers are just wandering around out there and are free to conduct a census, for example, in their spare time. That's never going to happen. Letter carriers are never going to be able to conduct the census. So while I think it's fine for us to be holding rallies as are coming up on March 23rd to oppose dismantling the Postal Service, I don't see that as being an urgent problem. It's certainly a worthy cause. But the thing that we should be concentrating on right now is the Nolan interest arbitration. We've been taking baby steps toward going into interest arbitration ever since Renfroe announced that we were going to go ahead and proceed to arbitration. All we've gotten from him since then is one date, and one date only. If there's a second date, we don't know what it is. If there's a third date, we don't know what it is. Just as important, Renfroe has given us nothing on the financial package we're going to submit. And what that package is crucial, and we need to know what he plans to ask for. We're going to get less than what he asks for. So we need to know what the ceiling is that he's going to set by offering a package in arbitration. While Renfroe hasn't told us about the financial package that we're going to submit, he has indicated that he's thinking about asking the arbitrator to incorporate some concessions that he made that were in the tentative agreement that was rejected by the membership. Using arbitration in that way would violate the NALC Constitution. According to the Constitution, the membership has to ratify any changes that are made to the contract. And Renfroe seems to be getting ready to try to do an end run around that requirement and to sneak stuff into the contract that Doug Tolino would like, but that the membership would not like. We should be holding rallies now to protest what Renfroe is doing to us. That's a more urgent problem than dismantling the Postal Service. Renfroe seems to be fighting like hell to screw the membership right now. And we need to mobilize, and we need to communicate to him that's not appropriate, and we're not going to just let him get away with it.
Yeah, let me say something real
Sure.
quick. You know, he's done this to himself by the incompetence he's displayed during this entire process. Taking 600 days to offer something that really, to me, and I've voiced this so many times, was like the first week type offer. You know, that's something that was on the table the first week. That's what it looked like to me. And the concessions, as far as the contractual issues, another thing that looked like the first week type shit. But he's done this to himself because he's in a no-win situation. You know, if we win something in arbitration, that's something that should have happened 600 days ago. You know, and if we lose in arbitration, he's talked all this time about, I just don't feel like we can do any better. You know, that's something you never do. You know, if you're the primary negotiator, you don't come out of any meeting saying, I just don't think we can do any better. You know, I've squeezed every penny out of him I could squeeze. When he was saying that, you know, I'm thinking to myself, why would you say that out loud in front of people? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's obvious that this guy's a rookie at what he's doing. It's his first one. It's obvious that it's his first one because he opens his mouth too much, whether it's lying to the members about what we're not going to accept, anything less than 9%. We're not going to have anything short of an all-career workforce. The CCAs will have substantial raises. Then comes out of this thing, you know, they're broke. They've lost billions. So I've squeezed every penny out. And now here we are. You know, and you're exactly right. What we need to be doing, where our focus needs to be in those rallies, like you say, are fantastic. You know, if you want to have your days of action, you want to have these rallies about something that could be impending as far as dismantling the post office or privatization, if that's what you think is going to happen, those things are good. But what we need to be focused on right now, the most important thing, is telling our president to fight for us, which you would never think you'd have to do. But I've said this a while back, you know, we've had to pick him up and throw him into the ring to fight for us. I never thought I'd have to say that about a union president, especially ours, that we had the city letter carrier is having to do this all by themselves. Pick the president up and throw his ass into the ring so he'll fight for us.
Yeah, I'm with you. Renfroe is our adversary.
Yes, yeah,
as my friend Jerry Kerner Jr. from Baltimore says, Renfroe couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag.
yep, yeah, and I don't get it. He's been around, you know. Luke Drass to me is one of the smartest guys there is. He's been around him. He's been around Orlando, and he's picked up nothing from these people. He's, you know, I don't know whether it's because he's insisting on doing it on his own. He seeks no counsel. And so he's going to do it on his own. I think things fell apart about halfway through. He got stuck with, you know, I can either bring it out now and get roasted, or I can make it, you know, take it 600 days and kind of starve the carriers out. And they'll be forced to take this shitty TA, and the carriers weren't having it. And so the first time in a long time, the city letter carrier is dictating to the union how we're going to be represented.
Yeah, and I am so proud of the membership of our union that they were able to see through what Renfroe was doing and reject the tentative agreement.
Yes. So where are we as far as your situation with the DOL? Are you finished with that about Renfroe?
Yes.
We might get back to that in a second. So where are
Okay.
you at? You got some updates. Where are you at as far as the DOL?
Yeah. We had an election, an NALC election, officer election in 2022. And that was the election that elected Brian Renfroe and moved him up to president from having been the executive vice president. After the election, I filed an appeal to the election committee, the NALC election committee. They denied my appeal, and I appealed to the Department of Labor. The Department of Labor also denied my appeal, and I filed a case in federal court in which I seek a rerun of the 2022 election. My case in federal court is brought under the Administrative Procedure Act, also known as the APA. Under the APA, an agency is required to issue a statement of reasons when it makes certain decisions. The decision may then be appealed to federal court, where a judge will determine whether the statement of reasons was irrational, arbitrary, or capricious. The agency in my case is the Department of Labor, which decided against my appeal of the 2022 election. To have prevailed in my appeal, I would have had to show that NALC's conduct violated the law and that the violation might have affected the outcome of the election. The Department of Labor just amended its statement of reasons last week. I object to the amended statement of reasons as to 4 issues. If the court rules in my favor on any of the 4 issues, we should get a swift rerun election. I expect the court's ruling in May. Here's a brief summary of the 4 issues that I've put before the court. The first is that I requested that NALC run clean sweep ads in the postal record from February 2022 through August 2022. Clean sweep is the slate of candidates. There are 9 members. I am the presidential candidate for the clean sweep slate. NALC refused my request to place ads in the postal record from February through August, and permitted me to run only 1 ad in the September-October issue. The Department of Labor found that NALC's refusal to run the ads as I requested violated federal law. However, the Department of Labor found that by running 1 clean sweep ad NALC had mitigated the refusal to run ads in 7 issues, and the violation, therefore, according to the Department of Labor, did not affect the outcome of the election. The Department of Labor's finding of mitigation is plainly irrational and wrong. Advertising theory says that repeating ads may increase response for several reasons. And when I saw this in the Department of Labor's statement of reasons, I wondered whether they had watched the World Cup last year, where they had all around the stadium, wherever you looked, at ground level, it said Coke, 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 Coke. And there's a reason that they did that. It's because it works. It's important to be able to repeat advertising, and it was just wrong of the Department of Labor to contend that well, I didn't get to run 7 ads, but I did get to run 1. So while there was a violation, it doesn't matter. And I feel like this is one of the strongest arguments that we put before the court. And as I said, we only need to win one of these issues in order to be able to get a rerun election. We don't need to win them all. The second issue that's before the court is that the NALC did not verify the eligibility of voters at the ballot tally. Federal law requires unions to provide adequate safeguards to ensure a fair election. DOL found that because NALC's mailing list contained only members who were eligible to vote, there was no need to check voter eligibility at the ballot tally. Thus, DOL found there was no violation of law. I think that DOL's finding of no violation is plainly irrational and wrong. When Congress enacted union election law, it intended that union elections be as clean and reliable as state elections. All 50 states require verification of eligibility before a ballot is counted, even though the ballots are mailed only to eligible voters. By failing to verify eligibility, NALC failed to provide an adequate safeguard and therefore violated the law. The Department of Labor did not contend that this violation failed to affect the outcome. One more point on this issue is that NALC publishes election regulations for branches to follow. And one of the required regulations in the book NALC publishes is that eligibility of ballots be verified before they're counted. And while that book technically applies only to branch elections, not to national elections. It just doesn't make sense that branches would be required to provide a safeguard that the national is not required to provide. So again, I'm confident that that we're going to be found right on that issue. And again, we only need to be supported by the court on one of the four issues that I've raised. My third issue is that the most important safeguard that's provided by federal law is that observers be able to see everything that's being done in terms of the counting and tallying, and that observers be able to verify the accuracy of the counts and tallies. NALC violated observers' rights in 2018, and they went right ahead in 2022 and violated observers' rights again. The only thing that observers were permitted to see at the count was a projection on the wall that lasted for approximately 1 second of each ballot as it was scanned into a computer. And as with the clean sweep ads issue, the Department of Labor found that this conduct by the NALC violated federal law. However, as with the verifying as with the election ads, they found that there was no effect on the outcome of the violation by NALC, and the Department of Labor based their conclusion that there was no effect on the outcome on a partial recount they conducted several months after the election. Excuse me. The Department of Labor doesn't tell us. The Department of Labor doesn't even give a skeleton of their argument that there was no effect on the outcome of the election. They don't tell us how many ballots they recounted. They don't tell us why a count made several months after the election, during which time the ballots have been in NALC's sole custody, why that procedure should have any credibility at all. And it particularly burns me that when they did the recount, the DOL didn't even notify me, and that's like I wasn't allowed to observe their recount of the ballots, just as I hadn't been permitted to see the ballots during the original count. So that's the third issue we're putting before the court. The fourth and final issue that we're putting before the court is I allege that NALC violated its constitutional voter secrecy requirement by printing identifying numbers on each ballot. NALC's Constitution at Article 6, Sections 10 and 11 requires a secret ballot. A secret ballot is one that can't be used to determine the individual who cast it. Renfroe's election committee had a 6-digit number printed on every ballot. I wrote to the committee chair before the counting began and asked him what the purpose of the number was. The chair did not respond to my question. I sent a copy of my question to Linda Mann, a member of the Clean Sweep slate. Mann attended the count and asked a member of the election committee what the numbers were for. Election committee member Rob Holub answered Mann's question by saying, quote, "A number is assigned to each ballot to prevent duplicates and so that counters can retrieve ballots rejected by the system," end quote. When I appealed the election to the election committee, I didn't include an allegation of a ballot secrecy violation because I didn't know there had been such a violation. What Holub said to Mann about preventing duplicates doesn't indicate that they used the numbers to link with each member's name and branch. If they're concerned about duplicates, they can get at that problem simply by asking the computer to search for 2 ballots that have the same number. It doesn't go to the person's name. So I didn't include the voter secrecy allegation when I filed my original appeal with the ballot committee. When the ballot committee answered and denied my appeal, they stated that 6-digit number allowed them to identify the individual member who cast the ballot. At that point, I knew that there had been a violation of the ballot secrecy requirements of the NALC Constitution, and I brought that to the Department of Labor's attention as soon as I met with them to discuss the appeal that I had made to the Department of Labor. The Department of Labor decided that it couldn't consider the issue of ballot secrecy because I hadn't raised it in my original appeal to the election committee. And The issue, therefore, is going to turn on whether I could have discovered the violation in time to include it in my appeal to the election committee. All of the evidence shows that I could not have. I wrote to the committee and they didn't answer my question. Mann questioned Holub and got an incomplete and misleading reply. Thus, there is no evidence that I could have discovered the evidence of the secret ballot violation. The court that's deciding my suit has given us a schedule. We are to file cross motions for summary judgment on April 1st. That's 3 weeks from now. With further argumentative filings by both sides on April 15th and April 22nd. I will post all of those filings on my Facebook pages. We drew what looks on paper like a very good judge. And I expect her decision in May. Got any questions about any of that, Corey?
Yeah, so we get a decision in May,
Yes, sir.
hopefully. And we're forced to redo this thing. Will you have the same ticket as you had before?
Exactly.
Okay.
It would be the same 9 people running on the clean sweep ticket and the same 28 people running on the Renfroe Barner ticket.
Okay. And so your people will be resident officers. Do you have any business agents that were on your ticket?
No.
Okay. So you got resident officers that'll go and they'll go against the ticket that was put forward by Renfroe.
Yes, sir.
And so it'll just be just another election, just like it was the last time.
Exactly.
All right. So who is representing the service?
The Department of Labor.
All right.
A
And
lawyer for the Department of Labor.
the lawyer for the Department of Labor is representing the Postal Service.
And they're representing NALC. Although
the NALC. I'm sorry, not the Postal Service. I'm
right,
sorry, representing NALC.
both of those parties could theoretically intervene, and I'm a little surprised that neither has to this point.
Are you talking about the Postal Service
or NALC? Yeah. I'm surprised that NALC hasn't
sent in Cohen, Weiss, and Simon.
Right.
That's their people, right?
Yes, sir. It's for the last 46 years, Cohen, Weiss, and Simon have been representing the incumbents. Bruce Simon walked through the door with Vince Zimbrato in 1979, and there's been at least one Cohen, Weiss, and Simon lawyer sitting full time at NALC headquarters ever since. Usually Keith Secular. Bruce Simon came and went a couple of times a week. There have been other lawyers involved too. For the most part, what they do is they represent NALC in cases in which the union has really screwed somebody, and they're very good at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're going to be the ones representing us in interest arbitration.
Yes, sir. And if they were making the decision about what to seek in interest arbitration, I would feel more comfortable than I do.
Yeah.
But Renfroe is going to make the decision about what they seek, and they will pursue it
Yeah.
expertly.
Yeah. Well, I've always said that I don't put anything past Renfroe. I think his ass is bent over getting shellacked like he did, because that's a career ender. That TA getting beat like it is. I mean, that everybody up there knows that did him in. I mean, he'll lose this next election, and that's kind of that's how that goes. There's nothing he can do to save himself. The problem is that he's been such a complete disaster. It's not just this TA. Uh, Everything he's done has harmed us since he's been in there, and that's not overreacting. I mean, I've got evidentiary proof that that's happened. I talk about it every week on my episodes. We could easily make a prima facie case against him in any setting that everything this cat has done has harmed us, and this TA is just kind of a culmination of those things. And so, uh, nobody can say, Mr. Noble, that you're not a fighter. Agree with you, don't agree with you, your positions that you've taken. You have fought for yourself and what you have thought is right, especially for your clean sweep ticket. You have fought your ass off. Anybody has to tip their hat to that. Like I said, whether they agree with it or not, dude, you have fought your ass off. So I've got to commend you for that.
Well, thanks, Corey. That means a lot coming from you.
Well,
Um,
I mean, it's I'll say this. Mike Cariff was on here a while back, and he said that if it does happen, if there is a reelection, he would vote for Renfroe again, which is his right. But we will cancel each other's vote out. Listen, my grandmother used to say, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." And I will never be fooled again by this cat that's running this union right now. He has shown me what he's about. And I could not, in good conscience, for my brothers and sisters, vote for that guy again. I was fooled once. And, I owe you an apology. I was running you down on one of my episodes. It was when he was on here. And, like I say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. It won't happen again. So me and Mr. Cariff, my friend, we'll cancel each other's vote out. But I would never, ever, under any circumstance, vote for Brian Renfroe again, because he has shown me exactly how he is as a president, exactly what he's about as a president. He does nothing but concede to the Postal Service. He's not presidential. He's not a leader of men. And so he will never, ever, ever get my vote again. So
yeah.
I wish you nothing but the best. I wish you good luck in your ruling coming up here. I
Well,
hope that it does. I hope that it does work for you.
yeah. As you said, um, losing the tentative agreement ratification is a big deal.
Yes.
That's only happened once in NALC's 136-year history, and that was in 1978. And it it uh, it it was that defeat of ratification of the 1978 agreement that propelled Vince Zimbrato into the presidency. Vince had run for president 3 times before and lost each time because because it is very, very hard to oust an incumbent president. But it was clear, and I was a part of Sombrato's inner circle in the 1976 and 1978 elections. It was clear when the tentative agreement went down in 1978 that that Vince was going to be elected.
Yeah.
And I am therefore optimistic about my prospects if I succeed in getting a rerun election. That's the big if.
Yeah.
Getting the rerun election is crucial to getting rid of Renfroe quickly. If we don't get a rerun election, or if we get one and if I lose it, then we're going to have to wait until the 2026 election for more than another year to get rid of Renfroe. And I shudder to think of the harm Renfroe can do to NALC as an institution if he manages to hold on to that position. I'd like, if I could, Corey, to talk just briefly about things that I would like to do if things that I plan to do if I'm elected president.
Absolutely. It's all yours, man. Your show.
The first thing is that our grievance procedure is broken. It's stopped up by a backlog that would take many years, almost a decade, to arbitrate, given our current rate of arbitration. We're down to 53 arbitrators for the whole country. When I was the assistant to the president for arbitration in the Sombrato administration for 13 years, we tried to keep about 300 arbitrators on the regional panels. And my first order of business on day one of my presidency would be to contact the Postal Service and tell them that NALC wants to add 300 arbitrators to the regional panels. I don't expect them to say no. They never said no during the 13 years I was managing panels under the Sombrato administration. But if they do say no, we'll be in court the next day with new lawyers because Cohen, Weiss, and Simon is going to be gone. Their days of treating NALC as a cash cow are gone. We made many millionaires of Cohen, Weiss, and Simon lawyers. I also want to go to court about the issue of CCAs. The Postal Reorganization Act requires the Postal Service to place particular emphasis on career employment. And my argument is that if the Postal Service had 100% non-career employees, which they'd like to do, that if they had 100% non-career employees, they'd be violating the PRA. If they had 0% non-career employees, they wouldn't be violating the PRA. Somewhere in between there, there's a line that can be drawn between how many non-career employees is a violation of the PRA. And for 42 years before the DOS award in 2013 created the CCA position, it was most usual for the Postal Service to have between 5% and at most 10% non-career employees. I think that 5% would be appropriate for the problems that management faces now. And that means that probably 3/4 of the present CCAs should be converted to career. I want to beef up the IT department and have them work with accountants on Postal Service finances. The Postal Service is cooking the books, and we need to uncook them. We need to do that for two reasons. The first is to protect against future false claims that might be made in a privatization fight, and second, to get ready for the next round of negotiations after this one. Renfroe thinks that the Postal Service's finances are completely public and understandable, and that's simply wrong. They're fooling everybody with their claims about how much money we lose. If I became president before there were a decision by Nolan about the contract, I would retract everything that's put before Nolan, and I would ask instead for three things. One, that everybody's pay be increased $3,369 to make up for what we lost to inflation under the old contract. Second, that we do away with table 2 and pay everybody from table 1. And third, that we adopt the UPS pay schedule, where people top out at $100,000 a year after 4 years, with management paying 100% of the medical insurance costs. I would like to protect the letter carrier political fund from any under the table payments that may be made to officers. The officers take under the table payments from our dues payments. It wouldn't surprise me to find that they're taking it from the letter carrier political fund too, and that that fund is very important and should be protected from any possibility of misuse of their funds. I would also like to reorient payments from the letter carrier political fund to congressional representatives to eliminate a heavy bias towards Democrats. We're going to need Republican help on the issues of dismantling the Postal Service and privatization. The rural carriers do a much better job than we do of equitably distributing payments from their political fund to candidates who really care about the Postal Service and protect the Postal Service, regardless of their party affiliation. In the event that that by the time of the rerun election, Nolan had already ruled, if Nolan awards things that were rejected by the membership after back pay has been paid, I would go to court to seek to vacate Nolan's award because it would plainly be a violation of the NALC Constitution for Nolan to award things that had been rejected by the membership. It's going quickly through this. I plan to stream the 2026 convention so everybody can see it. I want to open computer arbitration access to everybody. When I created the computer arbitration system back during the Sombrado administration, I originally intended that everybody would be able to use it. And when it was rolled out, it was available to everybody. Any member could hop on the computer and get into the computer arbitration system. Now access is restricted, and people need to get permission to get into it. I think that our arbitration library is a source of inspiration and useful information for everybody. And when I was first appointed to be an REA in the Minneapolis regional office, I stayed in the office until midnight every night, reading arbitration decisions. I just couldn't get enough of them. And I want to open that up again for everybody. I'd like to have Sunday Zoom meetings every Sunday to answer members' questions, and I want to answer members' email messages. Renfroe doesn't.
No.
I send him messages all the time. Very rarely get a response. For the 2026 election, I would want to allow every candidate to appoint a member of the election committee, and I'd like to have AAA conduct the election as they do for APWU and stream the results. In APWU, they managed to do the whole election by 1 o'clock in the afternoon on one day. rather than going through the 5-day bullshit, excuse my French, um, that we've been going through. I'd like to provide for a streamed debate between candidates for president with no questions previewed. I challenged Renfroe to a debate in 2022, and he accepted only if he were allowed to preview the questions and toss out the ones he didn't like.
That sounds fair.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
I would pay myself the top carrier rate, which is now about $76,000 a year, and I would donate the balance of my presidential salary to the letter carrier political fund. And I think that's it. I would end the under the table payments that are made to NALC's national officers. NALC's officers are paid more than any officers of postal unions. They take about $20,000 a year. The headquarters officers take about $20,000 a year in under the table payments, on top of the huge salaries they've been authorized by the membership, and it's disgraceful and shameful for them to be making $20,000 a year in under the table payments to themselves, while they're getting microscopic raises for the people they represent. I think that's it. I think that's it, Corey.
I want to touch on a few things that you said. First off, the grievance procedure being broken. Anybody who's been on here, we agree that the grievance procedure is broken. And that's one of the issues that I've been talking about is when I'm director of city delivery, toxic working environment, the grievance procedure. I think that we are one of the biggest contributing factors to that for the NALC. The Postal Service is winning right now with the grievance procedure being broken.
Yep.
They're winning because the Postal Service does not file grievances. We do. And so when the grievance procedure is broken, there's only one individual that's harmed when the grievance procedure is broken. That's the city letter carrier.
Yep.
The union's not harmed with a broken grievance procedure. It's not costing them any money. The Postal Services, they're not harmed. Matter of fact, they're gaining when the grievance procedure is broken. The city letter carrier is the only one harmed with a broken grievance procedure because we are the ones who file the grievance under Article 15. And so they have duped us, and I talk about this all the time, David. They've duped us because I'll read this to you, and this is just one of the things. Somebody sent me this the other day. It says, so in our region, this region's president's meeting, briefing us on the rallies, it was brought up that they're going to try and pre-arb as many cases as possible for branches that already have escalated remedies because they are worried about leaving all that money on the table if we get privatized and it all goes away. And so that's part of that fear mongering they're talking about. But when you have a broken grievance procedure and you have all these cases like they did in New Orleans, where you go in, the Postal Service stalls us out, and we have 1,000, 2,000 cases backlogged. They will starve us out, just like you're saying. We don't have enough arbitrators to arbitrate these cases. We've not done what we're supposed to be doing as the NALC to get arbitrators on the panels. When these backlog of grievances happen like that, and they say, well, we'll pre-arb all these things for pennies on the dollar, just like they did to New Orleans. Thousands of cases pre-arb for pennies on the dollar. Who got hurt in all that? The city letter carrier. The union saved money. The Postal Service saved money. And the only ones that didn't save money that got hurt was the city letter carrier. So the Postal Service has learned how to dupe us, has jammed the system by having these backlog of grievances, because they know they'll come in, they'll say, hey, we don't have enough arbitrators. We'll have these pre-arb sessions. If you got 300 non-compliance cases, they're calling for $50 a carrier for non-compliance. We'll give you 10. We'll give you 5. We'll give a lump sum of $250. Something, you know how those things go. And
Sure
so
do. Sure do.
we are getting crushed as city letter carriers because of the grievance procedure. It will not be fixed under Renfroe's watch because it is a money saver for both sides. And the union is not in the business of saving money off of the carrier's back. And unfortunately, that's where we are right now as a union. They are saving money at the detriment of the city letter carrier. And it's a game. Arbitration, and you and I have talked about this before when you've been on here. It is the ultimate weapon, arbitration. We need to weaponize arbitration again. You talked about Cohen, Weiss, and Simon. We've made them millionaires. Who needs to be millionaires are arbitrators. They need to be so busy with all these cases that they're rich. People be wanting to get on these panels because they're like, hey, the fuck, the NALC and Postal Service, man, they're going to town. They're going at it in arbitration. I need to be on one of those panels. And so we should have a plethora of arbitrators trying to get on these panels because they're going to be rich. Now, I want my arbitrators rich because I want them in there so much getting rid of these cases. Pre-arb sessions are killing us as far as the city letter carriers. And so, the grievance procedure to me is one of the biggest priorities. And so, I love when you said that because it's exactly true. It is broken and it will not be fixed under this administration.
Yeah, I agree. This is what I don't understand. Is we've got a lot of people out there right now who say they want to build a fighting union. But I haven't been able to get very many people to join the clamoring that I'm doing about adding arbitrators to get the backlog down and to make the grievance procedure work again. And one of the best ways, one of the easiest ways for us to fight is by filing grievances and going to arbitration.
Yes.
That really hurts management.
Yes. Yeah, it's a weapon. It's one of the biggest weapons we have, and we don't use it. Nationally, we don't use it like we should. Regionally, we don't use it like we should. And it's right there. It's so easy. I love nothing more than being an advocate, going in there. It's the ultimate mano a mano. It's us against them. There's no greater setting as far as if you're a union person and you want to kick management's ass than arbitration. Going in there and getting funky with them, and we don't do it. We don't do it. Like you said, how many arbitrators you say we have right now?
53.
53
for the whole country.
Yeah, that's insane. Now they got different ones on different panels and stuff like that. You could have one arbitrator on 6 panels, shit like that. But to me, that would be priority one. I'm glad you said that. But as far as me, when I get in there, it's going to be. I've already taken care of the toxic working environment. I've got the person that's going to do that. I've got enough people signed up right now. We can take care of that. That's going to be handled, the toxic working environment. Because to me, you got the toxic working environment, the grievance procedure, and noncompliance. Those are two of the top. Those are the top 3 to me. As far as the city letter carriers, the things that harm us most. And I love that. And the CCAs, you and I have talked about that before. Another problem with this administration is that he disrespects the CCA so much. I don't understand that as a union boss, as a union leader, to disrespect part of your craft. You look at the TA, complete disrespect. The fact that you told those carriers, the CCAs, I'm going to give you a substantial raise. The fact that you told them that is disrespect, because when you're telling them that, you already knew what you were going to do. You said that it was going to be an all-career workforce or a non-starter. That's complete disrespect to lie to those people like that. Because now here they're being told, like JB was talking about, we're going to go into these union meetings. We're going to say, hey, our president is coming to y'all's defense. He's riding in that knight in shining armor, going to say that we're going to have an all-career workforce. Y'all just hang on because it's coming, because he promised that to us. And he promised that you're going to have a substantial raise starting out. So our CCAs are saying, finally, somebody is showing us that love. And then you look and see what happened. So, yeah, the CCAs have got to be a priority. And when you're talking about that, that's another thing that we've talked about ad nauseum on here is the CCAs. This cat disrespects the shit out of them. I don't understand that. You should be loving those carriers and doing everything humanly possible to take care of them. And he doesn't know how to because he's not presidential.
Yep.
All he knows how to do is make these false promises about shit. This was the ultimate example of that. That TA was the ultimate example of false promises. Lie after lie after lie. And to me, David, it's like, do you not understand that it's going to come out? You're making all these promises. Do you not understand that eventually you're going to have to say, here's what it is. I've been lying to y'all this whole time. But to him, it's like he's immune to it. He doesn't understand it. He's lied to us the whole time. He just thinks he can come out with it and people just forget it.
I think it's a symptom of his alcoholism.
It has to be, and I don't want to keep harping on the man's alcoholism, but the reason he told Weir that he lied so much was because he was an alcoholic.
Yep.
And now here we are. It's still continuing even after all this time. He refuses to tell the truth. And that's why he will never get a vote from me. Anybody who's that dishonest in front of his members, anybody who is that dishonest, he's a danger. He's a danger to the crowd.
He is.
And the other thing, I've talked about this a bunch too, and I love when you said about the IT department, to get in those books. I know that he hasn't. Here's the thing, is that he's sitting this, and I talked about this last week, is that he sits in this meeting for 600 days, and then he comes out, and what does he say? They're broke.
Yeah.
They're broke in there. They've lost billions. I can't do any. We can't go any further. I've gotten every penny. This is what he's saying, David, to us in public, in front of everybody.
Yeah.
They're broke. I can't get another penny out of them. And I'm thinking then, baby, what if this TA gets shot down? And here you are saying all this shit, and we're going to have to go to arbitration. And you've sat here and put your foot in your own ass, by sitting there telling people, I've gotten every penny out of the service I can get. If I'm the Postal Service, I'm going to go into arbitration and say, hey, we agree with President Renfroe. We agree with him, Mr. Arbitrator. He's gotten every penny he could out of us. Here's him saying that. Here's him saying that to his people. And we agree with him. He's gotten every penny he can out of us because he told his members that. We're telling you that, Arbitrator Noble. Or Nolan. You're not an arbitrator. You're not an arbitrator yet. Arbitrator Nolan, we agree with the president of the NALC that they have gotten every penny they can out of us. That's how foolish this guy is when he comes out there telling people that shit. So I don't know. I'm going to get in those books, though, and I'm going to open them up. I don't care how much money it costs. I'm going to get on those books. Did you know, David, that management to craft, it's 9-1? 9-1. That's how much the difference is. 9-1. 9 craft to 1 manager. Could you imagine? That's better than any private school in the country as far as teacher to student ratio is 9-1. There's the problem. Is that you're too fat.
It's absurd.
It is. It's absurd. And so I'm gonna get in those books and I'm gonna say, how is it that we have this job where you have a ratio of 9-1, 9-1, and they're gonna have to explain that. If you go to the best private school in the country, they don't have that ratio. But here we are, here we are just broke as shit. And you got 9-1 ratio and a president out here just spouting off all of his shortcomings in this in his negotiations, just giving management all the ammunition they need to go into arbitration with us. What is he going to do when they go in there and he's going to start arguing for back pay? And they say, well, Mr. Arbitrator, why should we give them all the back pay when their prime negotiator wasn't here for 3 months? He wasn't here for 3 months. So why should we be on the hook for that? He wasn't here. He was AWOL. We've got this report here, the Weir report, where it shows that he was AWOL. And so he wants us to be on the hook for this back pay. That's how fucking foolish this guy is, man. And when I tell you that he's a danger, that's what I mean. Everything he has done has put us in danger as the city letter carrier. But here we are, brother. Here we are, got people saying that they'll still vote for this clown. I don't get it, my man. That's just between me and you.
We're in complete agreement.
Well,
he's a danger.
He is an absolute danger. I've never seen anything like it. He is the worst president the NALC has ever had. And how long has he been in there? 2 years?
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. It has started from the jump. We were fooled, first off. President Orlando didn't tell us what was going on about this guy. And, we just took it that he knew what he was talking about, voted on this clown, and immediately regretted it. Immediately. And it's gone downhill ever since. And so, God, I would love to get back to educating on my podcast, but damn, I'm trying to get us past this fool. Last words. What do you got to say, man? Give it to us. Give us some last words.
I need all the help I can get. And I certainly appreciate the work that you do. Getting these important issues about Renfroe out in front of the membership.
Yeah. Well, we're in danger, man. Like you said, I'm a city letter carrier, brother. I'm not a resident officer. I'm not in the business agent's office. I'm a city letter carrier. I was delivering mail this morning. I delivered mail today. I got home about 2 hours ago. I'll be in regional training until Wednesday, but Thursday I'll be back delivering mail. So I'm a city letter carrier, concerned as hell about my brothers and sisters because I am one of them. Shit. I've never seen it this bad, ever. I've never seen it as bad as it is right now, man. And so I wish you all the best. Good luck to you. Anytime you want to come on, man, just message me. Me and you message all the time. So anytime you want to come back on, man, just let me know.
I shall.
All right, brother. You have a good night, Dave. We'll see you, buddy.
You too, Corey. Bye-bye.
All right, bud. Bye-bye. All right, that's it, my man.
Okay.
It'll be up in about, give me an hour. It'll be up.
Thank you very much.
All right, buddy. Have a good night, Dave. We'll see you, man.
Sleep well.
All right, you too, brother. Bye.
Bye.